This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. And today it is Pharmacist Friday on Daily with Doc. So for those of you who have a lot of, for me, if I'm going to ask a question about a pharmaceutical or how something's going to react within the body, I'm going to ask my pharmacist. I'm not going to ask the doctor, because the pharmacist has really been trained in how things react within the body. Well, we have our very own pharmacist, which I'm super honored to have, and that is Pharmacist Ben Fuchs, where he's gone through that pharmaceutical training and he's seen the importance and value of nutrition, whether it has to be with nutrition in the response to dis-ease within the body or the way we look on the outside. He has all the answers, and I'm super excited to have questions and answers with him today. And we've got a lot of questions coming in from all different spectrums of how life is affected by our environment. So folks, if you're invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them. Let them know that you were able to catch the show, and let them also know what it is that you liked best about today's show. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So no matter where you are watching, we're on so many different platforms. There's a way to follow or subscribe. And most of all, send us some love, like us. And the best way to share that you appreciate what we are sharing here is to share it with somebody else. That is how we together are able to make a huge impact on the health journey of most people going down. Well, you know, we can make U-turns. I know I did, and I am greatly appreciative for that. And some of the stuff that we share on this program, in fact, most of it, is what helped me to make that U-turn. And I'm honored to be able to share it with you as well. This program is being sponsored by DailywithDoc on our website. That's DailywithDoc.com. On our website, you will be able to find replays of previous shows, some amazing articles that are beneficial in helping you see the importance of nutrition, and also a good foods, bad foods list. There's a store there too that's going to offer with the products that we support and recommend most, because we have found that they are solutions to what the society is facing when it comes to the over 600 different poor health conditions that are related directly to nutrient deficiencies. Well, today on our questions and answers with Pharmacist Friday is Pharmacist Ben Fuchs. Now, Pharmacist Ben has been instrumental in so many different things in his short life, including if you ever use the Carmex, which I think is kind of a household word. He's very much into the beginning formulas of that, which I'm pretty excited. Yeah, AJ's holding it up. It's Carmex is my son's favorite, but there's a few things that he has learned that putting stuff on topically doesn't necessarily fix the underlying cause. So maybe he'll share a little bit about that with us as well. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the host of this program and the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, and a trainer and leader within the longevity family of health-minded individuals who advocate wellness to others, I bring to you Pharmacist Ben Fuchs. Now, if I can find him, or did you? There you are. So, Pharmacist Ben.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And by the way, you're getting so good at this. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Thank you. With everything that goes on, you know, when things don't go right, you just keep flying the plane, right?
I love it. That's how you got to keep going. Just pushing ahead. So what's going on? Yes.
Well, Pharmacist Ben, we have so many people with questions, and
love that.
A lot of times people are just looking for a topical solution, especially when it has to do with the skin or dryness, flakiness, cracking, even, you know, fungus on the feet. When we put something on topical, what are the benefits of doing that?
Well, yeah. So, okay, let's talk about topical. I didn't anticipate that question, but one of my expertises is topical skincare. So I'm happy to answer. First of all, Dr. Jones would be turning over in his grave if he heard you say Carmex. It's actually Blistex.
But it is, okay, so I was right in saying Blistex, and that is what my son prefers. So
Blistex, yes, Blistex.
Right.
Poor Dr. Jones. We used to always diss on Carmex. So anyway, yes, I learned skincare and nutrition. I learned skincare from Dr. Jones, and I learned nutrition from a few different places. I was an athlete, so I was reading magazines, bodybuilding magazines, and performance magazines, and so I got into nutrition at a very young age. And then in pharmacy school, as I've said, I've told the story many times, pharmacists study nutrition, but we study nutrition like a pharmacist studies nutrition, not like a doctor or a nutritionist or a dietitian. We study the medicinal and therapeutic and healing properties of vitamins, and we study diseases. We study the nutritional deficiency component of diseases and how to use nutrients to restore the body back to health. And then in terms of skin, what I discovered was because the skin turns over very rapidly, it's burning through nutrients very rapidly. And this is a fundamental principle in biochemistry, is the cells that move that are the most active are using the most nutrients. The cells that are the most active in the body are the cells of the skin, or that divide the most rapidly are the cells of the skin, and the digestive system, and probably the immune system as well.
Recording in progress.
And so these three systems are very dependent on nutrition. So between my background as an athlete using nutrition, my background as a pharmacy student using nutrition, my background as a skincare professional or a skincare researcher doing nutrition, when I graduated pharmacy school, I had a really solid background in how to use nutrition, not just for the skin, but for the body and for helping folks deal with degenerative diseases. And I figured, why aren't we using nutrients instead of drugs? And at the end of the day, it's the nutrients that are missing. So I started to recommend nutrients. You know the story. I know you haven't told it for a while, but I know you like the story. And I ended up getting canned from Kmart for that. But I started my own pharmacy, and I combined all my skills, which were skincare and nutrition, as well as herbology, or what we call pharmacognosy in pharmacy school, which is the study of herbal medicine. And I started a compounding pharmacy for the skin, where I used skin. I didn't have any drugs in my pharmacy. It was all skincare products that I formulated, and nutritional supplements that I either formulated or I carried and sold. And I started using nutrition to help people with their skin. And what I discovered is that the real problem with skin, when people have dry skin or eczema or acne or psoriasis or foot fungus, as you've mentioned, or whatever it is, even something as benign as wrinkles and hyperpigmentation or just plain old skin dryness, it's a nutritional issue. It's a health issue. For some reason, even though we give lip service to the fact that the skin is the body's largest organ, we don't treat it that way. We treat the skin like it's a superficial envelope that covers the insides of our body, and we can just paint stuff on it and expect it to be different. Well, if you look at the statistics, we sell some $10 to $12 billion, maybe more, of moisturizing creams every year, and everybody has dry skin. We sell billions of dollars in wrinkle creams, and wrinkles aren't going away. Acne creams and eczema products and topical products for various skincare issues, and people still have skin health issues, and people have skin health problems. So to me, it's a no-brainer. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. If you keep putting different creams on your skin, and you're just using different brands or different names, and your skin isn't getting better, you're insane by definition, at least according to the definition of insanity. So can you do things topically with the skin? Yes, absolutely. And this is why I started my skincare company, because and this should come as a no-brainer to everybody on this call, or anybody in longevity, or anybody who understands nutrition. The most important topical skincare ingredients are nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, aminos. And that should make perfect sense. If you say that the skin is the body's largest organ, why wouldn't we treat it like an organ? When you want to help your heart, you use vitamin C and the B complex and essential fats. When you want to help your liver, you use blood sugar stabilizing nutrients and liver supplements, and on and on and on. So the skin should be the same way, except with the skin, we have access to it from the outside in. So yes, you can do lots of things for the skin from a healing and health perspective, but logically, you have to use the same strategies and the same ingredients and the same type of products that you do when you're trying to take care of the body from the inside out, and that's nutrition. So can you do things topically with the skin? Yes, but you need to have nutrients that the skin, or that will penetrate through the skin. Number one, they have to penetrate through the skin, and number two, that can have access to skin cells at the lower levels of the skin. And that's why the most important skincare ingredients are going to be vitamin C, vitamin A, minerals, essential fats, and a few specific amino acids. Internally, the same is true. The most important nutrients for the skin internally are also going to be vitamin C, vitamin A, fatty vitamins, and then amino acids and essential fatty acids. Now, from the inside out, you have a little more leeway because the blood will deliver those nutrients to the skin, and you don't have to worry about getting through the barrier. Skin has a barrier. Most of you guys on this call probably know this, but perhaps some folks listening don't. The skin is coated with a layer of wax. If you ever look at an apple from the grocery store, in the produce section, you look at the apple, it's covered with wax. If you look at a leaf in nature, you pull a leaf off a tree or off a bush, you'll see it's kind of covered with a waxy coating. That waxy coating on the apple or that waxy coating on the leaf is there to protect the internal milieu of the leaf or of the apple from evaporation, from water loss. It's a water barrier. It's like a raincoat, that layer of wax. Your skin has a raincoat on it too. It has a layer of fat and wax that keep the water in and keep the water out. And so you have to be very selective with the kind of ingredients you're using or choosing to put on the skin if you're expecting it to get through the surface. By the way, that surface is called the stratum corneum, which means hard layer. And that hardness is a function of this waxy material on the surface. It's actually a combination of wax and proteins. But in order to bypass it to get to the living cells, you've got to tweak your formula and you got to have the right ingredients. Internally, you don't have to worry about that because internally, things go through the digestive system and the blood and they're delivered from the inside out. So to answer your question, Rebecca, there's tons you could do topically for the skin, but it has to be nutritionally based. Herbs aren't going to do it. And certainly synthetic ingredients like silicons and emulsifiers and waxes and vegetable oils are only going to disturb the very delicate and very tightly regulated and balanced milieu of the surface of the skin. Internally, you don't have to worry about that. If you're dealing with a skin health challenge, the best way to handle it is both internally and topically. 1-2 punch. And always remember that it's not what you eat in terms of nutrition internally. It's not what you eat or it's not what you supplement with. It's not what you ingest. It's what you absorb. And if you're dealing with a digestive problem, we talk about that a lot on this program, and I talk about it a ton, as most of you guys know. There's two issues with the digestive system. You've got the leaky part, i.e. leaky gut, intestinal permeability issues. That's where toxicity enters into the bloodstream. And as we've said, all disease is cell disease, but all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. That means all diseases have a dirty blood component, and that comes from a leaky gut. But the second problem with the intestine, and this is sometimes not recognized, if you're dealing with gluten intolerance, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, leaky gut, SIBO, whatever, dealing with any intestinal problem, not only are you going to have to confront toxicity in the bloodstream, but you're also going to be having a problem absorbing nutrients because they're absorbed through the intestine. Once that intestine becomes inflamed, malabsorption and then malnourishment are inevitable. So it's not enough just to take your supplements. If you're dealing with a digestive health issue, you've got to use supplements that help you digest and absorb and protect the intestine. We have a ton of those. And you'll get the bonus of patching up a leaky gut as well. So always focus on intestinal health. One of the upsides of the Healthy Start Pack, which I love, and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, is it bypasses nutritional or digestive health issues. It's liquid. Liquids are always preferred to solids when it comes to absorption. You always want a liquid if you want maximum absorption. Solids, whether it's a solid capsule or a solid tablet, and I know some folks like the Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets. The problem with the solids, capsules and tablets is your body has to turn them into a liquid so they can be absorbed into the intestine. Not everybody does that effectively. So the liquids are far superior, always, as a general rule. Liquids are going to be far superior for absorption. Number one, they bypass digestive health issues, but number two, they're pre-liquefied for you, or pre-digested for you. So liquids are always preferred if you have a digestive health issue, and that's one of the reasons why I love the Healthy Start Pack and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine so much. It also helps you to use digestive support nutrients with your supplements, and one of the best digestive support strategies to use your supplements with, or to apply when you're using your supplements, is to eat. This is why you eat with your supplements, because when you eat, you've got digestive juices going. All the digestive machinery is working and you're ready to absorb. So eating is a great strategy. Also using your ultimate enzymes will help with absorption. Also using all your other digestive support supplements, including and by the way, there's apple cider vinegar. I noticed, this is a new one on me, in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine has apple cider vinegar, plus there's the apple cider vinegar gummies. Exactly. There's also acidifying agents in the ultimate enzymes. Betaine HCl is in the enzymes. And those will all help if you use your ultimate enzymes and your apple cider vinegar gummies, or even your Beyond Tangy Tangerine with your supplements. You'll get maximum absorption. And speaking of Beyond Tangy Tangerine, this little sucker is great to take with meals. And by the way, for people out there who think, oh, you're not supposed to drink liquids with your meals, wrong. You are supposed to drink liquid with your meals. People have this notion, I don't know if you've heard this, Rebecca, people say, don't do liquids with your meals, it'll dilute your stomach acid. Horse hockey. Your stomach acid is designed, is that a word, horse hockey? That's not a cuss.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
In my world, growing up on a farm, yes, it is.
Okay, horse hockey. You need the acid has to spread on the food that you eat, and the way it spreads is with liquid. And you'll find, by the way, if you drink liquids with your meals, you're not as hungry. You fill up a little bit. But if you add a little BTT, it'll help you digest your food, and you'll be satisfied quicker because you'll be more nutriated. And all of this is to say that if you want to take care of your skin, you got to do it with topical skincare. Or if you want to take care of your skin, you got to do it from two directions. Topically, with topical vitamins, minerals, aminos, and fatty acids. Topical nutrients. It's nice to have what's called a transdermal delivery system with those nutrients so you can get them through the surface of the skin. And I know I said this, but let me just repeat this. Your skin is stratified. It's layered like baklava or like lasagna. It has layers on it, right? The top layer is a barrier, that waxy barrier we talked about, and then there's a few layers underneath. Actually, there's quite a few layers. They're very thin. And then at the bottom, you have the living cells. The skin is technically three layers: the surface layer, the middle layer, and the bottom layer. The surface layer is this waxy layer. It's about as thick as 1/10 of a piece of paper. So in your mind's eye, take your imagination and look at this piece of paper, the width here, or the width of the paper, and divide it by 10 in your mind's eye. That's how thick that waxy layer is. The layer underneath the waxy layer, and that's called the stratum corneum. The layer underneath stratum corneum, hard layer. The layer underneath the stratum corneum is the epidermis, and that's about as thick as one piece of paper. So the stratum corneum and the epidermis are as thick as about a little over one piece of paper. And at the bottom of the epidermis, you have your living cells. So you got to get down there in order to have your active ingredient, your nutrient work. And then underneath, you have the bulk of the skin. If you ever seen a picture of an iceberg, you know the tip of the iceberg is above water, and then most of the iceberg, 90% of the iceberg, is underwater. That's how the skin is. The tip of the skin is about as thick as a little over a piece of paper, but 90% of the skin, which is about 9 pieces of paper, is underneath, and that's the dermis, and that's where the cells are that heal the skin and that anti-age the skin. These are the cells that make collagen. Everybody wants to know about collagen. Well, it turns out your skin cells make collagen. Everybody talks about high hyaluronic acid these days. Well, it turns out your skin cells make high hyaluronic acid. But if you really want to get the high hyaluronic acid and the collagen and a few other important fibers going for wound healing or for anti-aging, you got to get down there, and that's where that delivery system becomes important. By the way, vitamin C and vitamin A are the two most important topical ingredients to use for anti-aging the skin. And then internally, all your mighty 90 essential nutrients. And because the skin turns over very fast, two things happen. Number one, under conditions of nutritional deficiency, you're going to have lousy skin, and it's going to be lousy quickly. On the other hand, because the skin's turning over fast, your skin can recover really fast. If you have acne, dry skin, hyperpigmentation, eczema, psoriasis, any of a host of skin problems that people have to deal with, you should know that because of the rapid turnover of the skin, you can make a difference with nutritional supplementation internally and topically really, really quickly. And nobody really needs to suffer with skin health issues if they understand how to take care of their skin using topical as well as internal nutrition, including, of course, digestive health strategies. So I know that was a long-winded answer for topical skincare, but that's a little primer. And by the way, I absolutely love talking about the skin and skincare products. It's my favorite subject in the world of health and nutrition. And if anybody out there has any questions about skin or skin health or skin beauty, ask away, because I love talking about it. I've been studying it for a long time.
Well, I love the fact that you don't just give short answers that leave lots of questions.
Yeah, I don't know how to do short answers. I always feel
you don't
guilty if
know
I
how-
don't give you, I feel like I'm not giving you the full, if I truncate it or shorten it or abbreviate it, I always feel like I'm ripping you off. And I don't want to do that.
Definitely, we never get ripped off on Daily with Doc. So
All right.
thank you so much for
Sure.
holding true to that philosophy.
All right.
Now, we have lots of hands up, but I have
That's-
one question before we get into those, and that
Yowza.
has to do with heavy metals.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
What is a
Well,
safe way?
What's that?
What is a safe way to
Safe way?
to get rid of?
Oh,
not the
okay. Well,
grocery
what are
store.
heavy metals? First of all, what the heck are heavy
Metal.
metals?
Okay, so we're looking at lead.
No,
Um,
not which metals are heavy metals, but what are heavy metals as a class? What are they?
Well, they're minerals, right?
Well, they're metals, which
Metals.
are elements. They're not minerals.
Elements.
They're
Okay.
metals, right? They're heavy metals, and they're heavy. The heaviness is due to the density. They have a high atomic weight, and they're very dense, much denser than water. So they sink, and this can wreak havoc on the biochemistry, on the body's biochemistry. And over the last probably 100 years or so, something like that, they become widely distributed throughout the environment. And the toxicity of these things depends on a few things. Depends on how you're getting them into your system, your age, your nutritional status, how healthy or unhealthy you are, how healthy your liver is, which is going to do a lot of the detoxification work. They can be very carcinogenic. Some of them are carcinogenic. In fact, according to the EPA, they're all carcinogenic. There's a lot of problems with these things. You mentioned lead, and of course, lead is a well-known heavy metal. Antimony, I think, is another heavy metal. Antimony is found in various plastics, and cadmium. Cadmium is one of the more dangerous ones, along with lead. Cadmium, lead, mercury are probably the most problematic of all of them. And it's hard to avoid them simply because of the way our environment is. And not only that, but some metals like cobalt and iron and copper and even zinc are nutritional elements, and they are heavy. And there's other heavy metal. There are other metals that are classified as heavy that are not necessarily toxic. Indium, silver, a few other ones. But for the most part, you want to make sure that you're keeping your body clean of the really bad, the really dangerous heavy metals, gallium and cadmium and thallium and lead and mercury, etc. And the best way to do that, the best way to do that is with a process called chelation, CHELATION. I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Rebecca?
Well, I was going to say, how about barium, strontium?
Yeah, barium, strontium. That's right.
Nickel.
Yeah. If you look at the periodic table, right in the middle of the periodic table, you'll find where all the heavy metals are, smack dab in the middle. But the ones that most people hear about: chromium, lead, mercury. Those are the really bad ones. Chromium, beryllium also can be a problem.
Chromium is also nutritional in a trace amount.
Yes, that's the thing. They're all nutritional, but here's the thing, and this is very important. And I've said this before. Minerals are the most confusing of all chapters because they change. They're very flexible. That's not the right word. They're very labile. They move, they change. And that's what makes them active, and this also makes them problematic because they take different forms.
Mm-hmm.
Minerals can come in a form, and I don't even like the word minerals. I'm going to call them elements, because really what we're talking about is the individual units on the periodic table. I have this periodic table here, but I can never show it on camera for some reason. It doesn't.
Well, I'm going to get you a periodic table, and we're going to have it set up so that
we should have it set up. Yeah, this periodic table is super fascinating. So the ones in the middle are the ones that are heavy. So here's the deal. There are ways to get rid of heavy metals, and they involve this process called chelation. Chelation therapy is actually a full-blown medical therapy, which doctors don't like. They don't recommend it, although the doctors I know actually do chelation therapy on themselves, especially my friends who are older. They actually go get chelation therapy for anti-aging, and it is an incredibly valuable anti-aging strategy where they actually inject chelating agents. Chelation, you can think of, the word chelate means to claw. A chelate is to claw, to cover up with like a claw. but technically you could think of it like a magnetic attraction. When you chelate something, it becomes magnetically attracted. So you can stick a chelating agent or a magnetically attracting agent into your blood. There's the most popular one is called EDTA. An EDTA in the blood will will magnetically attract not just heavy metals, which are because based on their electrical charges, but other things that have the same kind of electrical charges, including toxins and bacteria and microbes, will get chelated out of the blood if you happen to have some other toxicity in the blood. So it's a great detoxifying strategy for heavy metals and other toxins, and I recommend everybody does it past a certain age, even if you're don't have a full-blown health challenge, just as an anti-aging strategy, just as a wellness strategy, but certainly if you're dealing with some kind of toxicity issue. But there's also oral chelating agents that you could take, and some of the best oral chelating agents you could take are nutrients. For example, vitamin C is a wonderful chelating agent. The ultimate selenium is a wonderful chelating agent. MSM sulfur is a wonderful chelating agent. N-acetylcysteine is a wonderful chelating agent. Longevity's got all kinds of products with all of these ingredients in them, and perhaps the most famous, well-known, and important of all the longevity chelating agents are the minerals. Plant-derived minerals are among nature's best chelating agents. So using plant-derived minerals will have an anti-heavy metal effect and help you detoxify from heavy metals, just plain old plant-derived minerals. And if you're interested in heavy metal detox, in addition to the plant-derived minerals, of course, you get in your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, get on the mineral toddy, which is straight plant-derived colloidal minerals. And along the same lines, clay is a wonderful chelating agent. All kinds of clays, kaolin and bentonite clays, largely because of their plant-derived mineral content. And then also, some people like to use zeolite. I don't know if you've heard of zeolite. Zeolite also has chelating properties. So there's lots of ways to chelate. My favorite way to chelate is plant-derived minerals because you're getting the benefits of the minerals. In fact, well, let's leave it. You get the benefits of the plant-derived minerals, which of course are endless nearly. And on top of that, you get the chelating benefits. If you use Beyond Tangy Tangerine, you'll also get benefits from the vitamins, chelating benefits from vitamin C. If you use your Ultimate Selenium, you'll get chelating benefits from that. And if you use your Ultimate MSM, you'll get chelating benefits there as well. So chelation is the best way to detoxify. Now, last thing I'll say is if you have fatty liver, or if you're dealing with metabolic syndrome, it's going to be a little bit harder to detoxify. So make sure you're addressing fatty liver via the Healthy Brain and Healthy Blood Sugar Pack. The most important reason why we get fatty liver is because of dysglycemia. So make sure you're working on your blood sugar and so that your liver stays healthy. Liver, of course, isn't just important for chelation; it's important for all detoxification.
So thank you for going through all of the things that are offered by Longevity, which is the company that we promote the nutrients that they have within their products that are synergistically blended together. Now, folks, you mentioned the digestion pack, and we also mentioned the blood sugar pack. You mentioned the ultimate enzymes, MSM Ultra, all of those things.
Ultimate Selenium.
Ultimate Selenium, all of those things can be found on the store at DailywithDoc.com. But again, if somebody referred you to this program, get back with them and said, hey, I want these chelating agents that Longevity offers. So not only am I getting the 90 essential nutrients, you get the vitamin C, which he mentions is another one. Beyond Tangy Tangerine is probably the best vitamin C I've ever taken in my body. And it also includes some zinc. I mean, it's just all around fantastic.
It is all around fantastic. And I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't know if I said this firmly enough or if I kind of went through this too fast, but chelation is great for the liver. It's a great therapy in fact, it's used medically. Chelation therapy is used medically for certain liver diseases in kids. So chelation therapy is not just for chelating from the blood, but it also will support the liver.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's folks, when they say everything is connected, that's because everything really is connected.
Everything's connected.
Let's go to the first hand that is up with the next question. And AJ, what question do you have for Pharmacist Ben?
Pharmacist Ben, how are you today?
I'm good. Good to see you, Sportus.
Good to see you as well. I have a quick question, and this is one of the stories that I love hearing you tell.
Yeah.
The woman is asking about what is the cause of bright red neck and hair loss?
Well, it's not the cause because those are two different things. Bright red neck or any kind, and we've all heard the term rednecks. The classic cause is vitamin B3 deficiency, niacin deficiency. The ultimate niacin is an awesome source of niacin. Niacin, of course, has a wide range of benefits, including cardiovascular benefits, benefits for the digestive system, benefits for the brain. One of the signs of niacin deficiency is brain and mental health problems, including dementias. And then also it's vitamin B3 or niacin is critically important for the skin, and deficiencies in niacin will cause redness, not just on the neck. The skin on the neck is very thin, relatively thin. And so you're actually seeing the blood dilate when you see redness on the neck. And it's well known that the term redneck comes from Southerners who were notoriously deficient in vitamin B3 after the Civil War. Vitamin B3 is found in high protein foods, and they weren't getting a lot of protein foods. They were subsisting on carbohydrates post-bellum after the Civil War. So that people who were working out in the sun oftentimes had red necks. That's where we get the term redneck. That is a sign of a condition called pellagra, Pellegra. The word pellagra actually means rough skin. And pellagra is niacin deficiency, vitamin B3 deficiency disease, and it will cause a red neck. Of course, there's other things that can do it. If you have a reaction, redness is usually a sign. In addition to being a B3 deficiency, it can be a sign of an allergic reaction or immune reaction in the blood, rosacea. Many people will have redness on their cheeks after they drink coffee or after they eat certain kinds of foods or spicy foods perhaps, or alcohol. That is the sign of an immune reaction, rosacea, and you have to work on digestive health strategies for that. And if you see redness that appears on the body, on the trunk of the body or on the arms of the body, that also should be regarded as some kind of immune system reaction. And again, for all immune system reactions, you backtrack to the seat of immunity, which is the intestine and the digestive tract. And then also, and this isn't exactly what you're asking about, but this is kind of interesting. Some people will get something called the niacin flush. Have you heard of this? The niacin flush, when they take niacin, they'll get red, they'll flush. When they get red, and they'll also feel really hot. Sometimes you'll get red in weird places, like the tips of your ears will get really red and really hot. What that is a manifestation of is vasodilation, blood vessels opening up. This is not a bad thing. Blood vessels opening up, of course, improve blood flow, and that's what you're feeling when you have the niacin flush. If you want, you can do no flush niacin, but the niacin flush really is, as while it's a little bit uncomfortable, actually is a sign that you're getting circulatory benefits, including cholesterol lowering benefits and benefits for blood fats. And that's one of niacin's really interesting roles, is it helps you process fats. It's very important for the fat processing system of the body. Another thing that's really important about niacin, and I don't know if you heard this, Sportus nutrition osseous. Is that how I say it?
That's how you say it.
Nutrition osseous. Have you heard of NAD and NADH? And it's been kind of like there's multi-level companies.
Yeah, we did a show on that actually.
With me?
With you.
Oh, we did. Okay, I don't remember that. Okay,
Yeah.
but NAD is niacin. NAD and NADH are niacin, and this is one of niacin's most important roles. In fact, the B vitamins in general help the body get energy from sugar and fat. They help the body process energy. NAD and NADH are carriers of energy. And niacin is turned into these carriers of energy. And I don't want to get into too much biochemistry, but if you ever want proof of God or proof of some kind of divine intelligence, look into how energy is produced in cells. You ever wonder how that happens? How do we eat a hamburger and it gets turned into the energy to do our life? You ever wonder how that happens? That is an absolutely mind-blowing biochemical process that is so tightly organized and coherent at the tiniest levels, literally the quantum level, and much of that work at the quantum level is performed by the niacin derivative NAD and NADH. So niacin is also important for energizing cells and ultimately energizing the body.
Okay. And what about the hair loss component?
Okay, so hair loss it's not a component. Hair loss is it's a different subject. So to the body, the hair doesn't matter. To us, it matters. But our body is concerned with survival. You can survive just fine if you're bald as a billiard ball. But the core of the body, that's not true. The core of the body, if something goes wrong with your heart or your liver or your lungs or your spleen, or you have some serious problems. So the body will reroute nutrients to the center, the core, under conditions of deficiency. Your nails will suffer, your skin will suffer, and your top of your head will suffer. Ultimately, other parts of the body at the extremes will suffer, like your extremities, like your fingers and your toes, and your hands and your feet. So the body will kind of pull things to the center under conditions of nutritional deficiencies. Cells will do kind of the same thing. When the body's pulling things to the center, it's kind of contracting, it's shrinking a little bit, so that the nutrients can have access to the center of the body. So if you can imagine it, you're kind of pulling things to the center when you're under nutritional deficiency. The body's doing it. Well, cells do the same thing. Cells will contract under conditions of nutritional deficiency. They'll go to sleep. They won't work. Why? Because they don't have the resources that they need. And this is very, very important, because when you give the body the resources it needs, it can expand. The cells can expand, and the body can expand in the sense that nutrients can come up to the extremities, the head and the skin and the fingers and the toes, and the hair follicles. All of these parts of the body will be happier. Will be able to perform more efficiently when they have nutrients. So there's kind of an expansion that takes place. This is why you want to have high concentrations of nutrients. Somebody on Coast to Coast asked me a couple days ago when I was on. They said, "Why do you have so much nutrients in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine?" Because look at the nutritional facts, and you're getting 1,800% of vitamin B6 and 1,300% of vitamin C, and these are the RDAs. Now, what do the RDAs stand for?
Ridiculous
deprivation allowance. Yes, yes. Thank you. They used to call it the ridiculous, or most people tell you it's the recommended daily allowance. Why is it? What is the recommended daily allowance? The recommended daily allowance is there so you don't get sick, so you don't have scurvy, or you don't have pellagra, or kwashiorkor, or beriberi, or all of these diseases that are classified as deficiency diseases. But they're not there to keep you maximally healthy. There's a distinction between being not sick and being healthy, not to the medical model. The medical model says if you're not sick, you're healthy. That's not true. If you're not sick, that doesn't mean you're healthy. Health is when you have tremendous energy, when you're resistant to diseases, when your skin glows, when you have wonderful eyesight, when your heart is super strong and pumping, and your lungs are able to breathe efficiently, and all of the systems of the body are firing at full on all cylinders. So the medical model wants us to think if you don't have scurvy, then you're healthy. No. If you don't have scurvy, you just don't have a disease, but that doesn't mean you're maximally healthy. To be maximally healthy, you got to have so much nutrition in your body that if they were to squeeze you like a sponge, nutrients would drip out. That's the kind of saturation that you want. When you saturate the body with nutrients, several things happen. Number one, the cells, which are the part of the body that are using the nutrients, are like, yippee! Happy A's are here again. We are going to town. It's like we won the lottery. If you won the lottery, you're not going to worry about your rent anymore. If you worry about the lottery, you're going to you'll be tipping the landlord extra money. You'll be paying the bank extra money. You'll have so much money, you'll be able to do all this wonderful work. That's the situation you want in the body. Secondly, in biochemistry, there's a mathematical formula called Fick's law, F-I-C-K-S, Fick's, like it was named after a scientist named Robert Fick's, I believe. And Fick's law is also known as the law of diffusion. And the law of diffusion says things go from where there's a lot to where there's a little. So if you have, just to give you an example, if you have 10 grams of something on the top and you have 1 gram on the bottom, things will flow. If you have 1 gram on the top and 10 grams on the bottom, it won't flow, because things go from where there's a lot to where there's a little. The law of diffusion. Things want to equilibrate according to the law of diffusion. So if you pound the body with nutrients, you can force or push nutrients into the cells via Fick's law, via the law of diffusion. So high concentrations have a pushing effect via this law of diffusion, this Fick's law, and high concentrations give the body or cells excess, so much that they have so much abundance they can make extra work. And just like when they don't have nutrients, they shrivel. When they have nutrients, the cells expand. And that's where nutritional supplementation is so important. As far as the hair goes, under conditions of deficiency, all the nutrients that are important for hair growth are going to go to the center of the body. So by restoring nutrients, you can kind of push the nutrients throughout the body to all of the extremities. That's point number one. Secondly, the major cause of hair loss, or there's two major causes of hair loss. Number one is autoimmune issues. And autoimmune issues are when the immune system attacks various parts of the body. An autoimmune issue of the hair, particularly something called alopecia areata, is when the immune system attacks the hair follicles. The hair follicles are like little rabbit holes where the hair is growing out of. Those follicles become subject to attack in an autoimmune condition, in this autoimmune condition, and that can cause hair loss. That's one of the main reasons for hair loss. The only way to deal with autoimmune issues, as we've talked about, and I don't want to, running out of time here, so I don't want to talk too much about autoimmunity because we've covered it before. Autoimmunity is a classic manifestation of dirty blood. That's how you have an autoimmune disease. And this is very important, number one, because the medical model doesn't know this yet. They're starting to know, and a lot of things we talk about and a lot of things Doc talks about are now accepted as conventional wisdom. 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you were a crackpot if you thought these things. So yet they're now starting to recognize that autoimmunity is a classic manifestation of dirty blood, which in turn follows SIBO and a leaky gut. So doing all the digestive health strategies. And the second reason for hair loss, and this is not only for hair loss, this is for all steroid hormone synthesis and production issues. Steroid hormones are your growth hormones. They're your stress management hormones. They're your coping hormones. They're the hormones of life, the steroid hormones. And the steroid hormones, all the steroid hormones, particularly estrogen and testosterone, those are your main building hormones, and possibly progesterone and DHEA too, are very responsive to insulin and sugar, because insulin and sugar are also growth substances. So when your body stops listening to insulin, that's called insulin resistance. Becca wrote a book on it called Metabolic Syndrome, right? Becca and Doc. Metabolic syndrome, there it is insulin resistance syndrome. And when the body is insulin resistant, it will also have a down-regulating or negative effect on estrogen and other important building, and testosterone and progesterone and DHEA, these other building steroid hormones. When you don't make these building steroid hormones, one of the things that happens is you start to lose your hair. Again, to the body, when you don't have enough building hormones, it's going to use those building hormones for the center, not for the head. So working on insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome is the second thing you want to do for hair loss, as well as for estrogen and testosterone issues that affect us as we get older. As women get older, many of you know, your estrogen drops, and you always want to go get estrogen replacement therapy so you can be more feminine and more sexual, perhaps, or have better skin, all of the wonderful things that estrogen does. Work on your metabolic syndrome. For men who are dealing with testosterone issues, a lot of men want more testosterone, want to be more manly, want to have more of that youthful kind of masculinity that they used to have that's regulated by testosterone. Again, insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. Those are two, the main reason we'll say why, biochemical reason or metabolic reason why steroids, testosterone, and estrogen, and other hormones that are associated with healthy hair become suppressed. And then the last thing is the thyroid. Hypothyroidism is the jumping off point to all health challenges. And hypothyroidism cannot be addressed on its own. You have to address it downstream. How do you address it downstream? The triangle of disease: digestive system, blood sugar system, and the adrenal glands. And that's where we're working on metabolic syndrome and digestive health, and to a certain extent working on the adrenal glands. But if you work on digestive health and metabolic syndrome, all the other measurements or metrics of good health start to fall into place. And it always boils down to that. At the risk of sounding simplistic and making people think, oh, this is too easy, that's where everything starts. Digestive system, blood sugar system. And what does the digestive system and the blood sugar system have in common? Food. And so working on food, digestion, keeping your sugars down, getting on your healthy blood sugar pack, all the digestive support supplements, including the digestive health pack and the ultimate enzymes, the I-26, and on and on and on. That's the best way to deal with hair loss.
Pharmacist Ben, that's a lot of information.
I know. That's what I say. I feel, I want to give you everything. I don't want to give you short shrift. I see Susan.
I know you do.
Susan.
I know you do. And I just want to show people, because this is kind of, I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't know how I would do this. This would be able to be seen by those. Oh, wait. Yeah, right there. Oh, no, you can't see it very well. That was my hair 8 years ago, kind of lifeless and very thin. And that was I'd actually found that's better than it was like 6 months earlier. But that's 6 months after finding the longevity products and getting them in my body. And you had said like the yippee when the cells get the nutrition. Well, I'm like, yippee, I want to share the world what it feels like to have the 90 essential nutrients, because it is absolutely fantastic. I love having thick hair and not go like this and have it all fall out. It's fantastic.
Nice.
So let's go to Susan. Susan has a very important question. We want to make sure that we
Hi,
get
Susan. Good to
Hello,
see you.
Susan. And there you
Hi,
go.
Ben. Hi, Becca. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I know you. I want to ask the question quick so we don't run out of time. So I do have a couple questions, Ben.
Sure.
One of my clients was asking about AIDS, HIV, and he was wondering if there's a cure or remission.
Okay,
for it.
so HIV is not AIDS.
Okay.
AIDS is acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Syndrome is when you have a bunch of things happen because of one cause. So metabolic syndrome is when insulin resistance causes fatty liver disease and heart problems and obesity and hair loss and all these other things we talked about. That's a syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome affects autoimmune diseases and inflammatory issues and rashes, etc., all based on a leaky gut. So you have one cause and you have a lot of problems. That's called a syndrome. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome is, as the name implies, a disease where you have an immune deficiency that you're not born with. It's acquired.
Okay.
Okay, it's an immune deficiency that you get somewhere along during your life. You acquire an immune deficiency, and that immune deficiency causes a bunch of problems. It causes cancers, and it causes rashes, and it causes respiratory problems, and causes all digestive problems, all kinds of problems associated with acquired immune deficiency. So the question is, what causes acquired immune deficiency? Well, if you're asking me, I'll tell you a lot of things cause acquired immune deficiency, especially digestive health problems will cause acquired immune deficiency issues, but you can have it for a lot of reasons. Nutritional deficiencies can cause acquired immune deficiency issues. High intake of sugar can cause acquired immune deficiency issues. So there's a lot of things that can cause acquired immune deficiency issues. Recently, not by recently, I mean the last 50 years or 40 years or so, it was blamed on a virus. This virus was called the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this, about HIV. Is it true? Is it really caused by a virus? We don't know if it's real. I mean, that's what the conventional wisdom is that you get a virus and then all of a sudden you have this condition called acquired immune deficiency syndrome. There's controversy. I can't tell you I know the answer to that. I can tell you that there's controversy. So what does that mean? That means if you're dealing with AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, your strategy should be to strengthen your immune system. That's the strategy. Now, there are antiviral nutrients, and the most well-known, probably the best one is your ultimate selenium. And that can help for people who are dealing with chickenpox viruses or herpes viruses or genital herpes or human papillomavirus or whatever it is. It may also help if you're worried about the HIV virus, assuming there is one. And like I said, I don't know. I can't tell you the answer to that. But the best thing you can do for AIDS is to strengthen the immune system with all of the strategies that we should all be doing. And that means keeping your sugar down, because sugar is a powerful immune suppressant. Making sure your digestive system is firing on all cylinders, because toxicity that leaks into the blood will put a burden on the immune system. Making sure that you're dealing with metabolic syndrome issues, because you need a healthy liver, and metabolic syndrome can affect the liver for the immune system. And then using nutrients that strengthen the immune system. And of course, we mentioned selenium as an immune boosting nutrient. Vitamin C is tremendously immune boosting, as is the B complex. And of course, that's where your Beyond Tangy Tangerine comes in. Fucoid Z has wonderful immune strengthening properties. And if you go online and look up the studies associated with Fucoid Z, they're all based on the immune system, or not all, but a lot of them are based in the immune system. So using the Fucoid Z would be advisable. Using the healthy blood sugar pack would also be advisable. And the immune system is, like most of the body, is the end result of proteins and protein synthesis. So making sure she's getting enough protein, particularly whey protein, which has immune boosting immunoglobulins in it. And it has other molecules like lactoferrin in it. In fact, lactoferrin, which is in the TMR shake, as well as the Fit Shake and what do they call it? The birthday cake shake, which, by the way, is like crazy delicious. All of these have whey protein, and whey protein is not only a source of the immunoglobulins, but also lactoferrin and other immune boosting compounds. So those would be advisable as well. And then there's anti-inflammatory strategies. Having immune problems oftentimes can cause, or are secondary to, are the end result of inflammation or out of control inflammation. So using your ultimate EFAs is also important. Those are nature's anti-inflammatories, nature's aspirin. And because inflammation is the calling card of the immune system, anything you can do that has anti-inflammatory properties and inflammation supporting properties, and I'll just say this real quick, I don't want to digress too much, inflammation is a good thing. Inflammation triggers healing. The problem with the problem when we talk about inflammatory diseases is too much inflammation, or inflammation that's out of balance. But inflammation under healthy, ordinary circumstances triggers anti-inflammation, and your ultimate EFAs and ultimate EFA pluses are ultimate EFA plus is the ideal anti-inflammatory and inflammatory agents for accelerating healing and supporting the immune system. So healthy start pack, basically, digestive support as well, all the digestive support strategies, including the nightly essence, because the bacteria in the gut are very important for the immune system. And then also all the blood sugar strategies for metabolic syndrome. I would use those as well. And then I just thought of something for AJ's question about the hair, and also for you, Susan. Vitamin D plays a really important role in the immune system. And we have Youngevity has lots of products that contain vitamin D. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine has some vitamin D in it. And then also sunshine, making sure you're getting out in the sun can be very helpful too.
Wonderful. And I have another quick question too, if you have time. Do we have time?
Yes, ma'am.
I have one of my clients, female clients, I think about a year ago, she had these Juvederm injections.
Oh, yeah.
To around the nose area and the jawline area for, to look younger.
Yes.
And 6 months, she told me 6 months ago, she began breaking out, angry, redness around those injection areas, and even little whiteheads coming out, and scaliness and whatever. And she's really regretting that she ever did it.
That's an unusual reaction, but yeah, once you put things, and she may have triggered an immune response from the injections. And if that is the case, then a couple things that you want to do. First of all, you want to have her avoid any other things that trigger an immune response. So usually that doesn't happen. So if that does happen, I would suspect she was already compromised at the level of the immune system. The immune system is like a camel's back. I taught AJ got a kick out of this. I was looking at our video last week, AJ, when I talked about this, and I saw, oh, AJ's laughing here. He got a little kick out of this. So the immune system is like a camel's back, and it can take a certain amount of sticks, and then one stick goes on the camel's back, and the back breaks. That's kind of like the immune system. So your immune system can take certain amount of immune attacks, immune load, actually call it immune load, until it reaches a straw that breaks the camel's back point. And then one more thing, like Juvederm getting stuck into your skin, throws you into a full-blown immune reaction. I'm not saying that's the case with her, but I would ask her if she has a history of immune problems, if she has a history of skin issues, if she has a history of digestive health challenges. All of this would tell me that her immune system may be overloaded, in which case removing the load through the digestive system or through whatever toxicity issues she has can help with this Juvederm reaction. Now, I don't know this patient, so I can't tell you for sure, but that is one thing that you might want to do. As far as building the immune system goes, Beyond Tangy, your Ultimate Selenium, your Fucoid Z, digestive health supports, Nightly Essence. This isn't directly for immunity, but for inflammation, which can follow immune reactions, your Ultimate Enzymes taken on an empty stomach are wonderfully anti-inflammatory, as are the Ultimate EFAs.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you.
Right.
Okay,
Thank
do
you
one more?
so much. Well, we do have more hands up if you have more
I'll
time.
do one more. No, I got a ball, but let's do one more.
Okay, so let's go to Dave. Dave, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Okay.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, everyone. Hi,
Hello.
everyone. I missed you on Coast to Coast, Ben, the other night, but I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I'm a 68-year-old male in great health, except I have a severe aortic stenosis.
Okay.
I have no symptoms except the murmur, and a bunch of echocardiograms verify it.
Okay.
All my other screenings are done. I'm in good health. I eat well. My wife's a great cook, and I've taken a bunch of supplements. Is there anything I can do
Yes.
to keep?
Yeah. Let me just say, as I'm not saying this to pick on you. I want everybody to hear this because this is really important. If you think you're in great health, then there's nothing we could do. You're in great health, right? So you're not in great health. And I'm not saying that to be mean to you. I'm saying I'm saying it's in your interest to find where you have problems. Because if you're in great health, there's nothing we can do. But clearly you're not, right? So you got to find places where you're not in great health. That's in your interest to do that. So we can work somewhere.
Agree. Agree.
Right?
And my cardiologist says it's a mechanical problem. There's nothing that can be done. Is mechanical surgery.
No. If it was a mechanical problem, did you have it when you were a baby?
I don't think so.
Did you have it when you were 10 years old? All of a sudden you had a mechanical problem? No, obviously that's silly. You tell them that's idiotic. It's not silly, it's idiotic for anybody to say that.
My doctor heard it 15 years ago in a murmur on my heart.
Yeah, well, so clearly it's not mechanical because you weren't born with it. Right? So it's not mechanical. I mean, it might be mechanical, but that doesn't mean that there's nothing that's causing the mechanical issue.
That's why that's why I've been listening to you guys for years and years.
Yes. So what causes a mechanical issue? By the way, stenosis is when a tube narrows. If you have spinal stenosis, the spinal tube narrows. If you have aortic stenosis, the aortic valve is a very large artery that brings blood from the heart to the rest of the body. Aortic stenosis is when the aorta becomes narrow. So that the heart doesn't get the heart can't get perfused as effectively, and the heart needs perfusion. So it's basically a progressive issue. That's why you had it 15 years ago, and it gets worse. Stenosis is when, for whatever reason, plaques start to form inside that tube. Also, calcium deposits can form inside those plaques, and gradually the tube becomes narrow and narrow. It doesn't only happen in the aorta, it happens in all the tubes of the body, are potentially sources of stenosis. So what you want to do is you want to, number one, strengthen the tube. By strengthening the tube, the body will be less likely to deposit plaques and calcium as a Band-Aid. So that's the first thing you want to do, is strengthen the tube with your Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. The Healthy Bone and Joint Pack is a blood vessel strengthening system. We don't often think, we said bone and joints. You don't hear anything about blood there. But the same tissue in the bone and the joints that gets strengthened by glucosamine and vitamin C, and all the other wonderful nutrients in the healthy bone and joint pack will also strengthen the connective tissue in the arteries and in the circulatory system. So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do is what we talked about earlier, which is chelation therapy, using chelation nutritional supplements, which are ultimate, we've talked about them already, the ultimate selenium, the MSM sulfur, vitamin C, N-acetylcysteine, protein, amino acids, all the chelating strategies that we just talked about. Those will help. And then also for stenosis, if there's any toxicity that's getting into the blood through a leaky gut, you got to start patching that up. I don't know if you have any digestive health issues. And again, it's in your interest to find them, Dave. If you have bloating or gas or heartburn or any kind of digestive constipation, diarrhea, any digestive health challenges that you can connect with foods would be really in your interest to find. Not make them up, obviously, but to find them if they're there, and then you can eliminate those foods, and that will keep the blood flowing, improve blood flow, not only to the heart and to the aorta, but throughout the entire body. So number one, you want to look for toxicity that's coming into the digestive system through a leaky gut. Number two, you want to strengthen the connective tissue in the blood vessels using the healthy bone and joint pack. And number three, you want to use chelation strategies, chelation nutrient strategies.
Thank you. I got it all written down. And my dad was a pharmacist, by the way, Ben.
Oh, wow. Whereabouts?
California, Northern California.
Was he a retail guy or?
No, he worked for Kaiser. He was in charge of all their pharmacies for 15 different hospitals.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, good to talk to you. Are you in California?
No, I moved to Nevada. I couldn't take it anymore.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, nice to meet you.
Okay. Thanks, Ben.
Take care, buddy.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Dave. I think that's fabulous that the children of pharmacists in the medical world, heavily with Kaiser, are included in looking at nutrition. His folks, nutrition really does work. Now, one more question before we close out. Question is, does Ben know if iodine and Ocean's Gold interfere with amlodipine?
No, there's not enough iodine there. I don't even know if iodine in general will interfere with amlodipine, but there's not going to be enough iodine in Ocean's Gold to worry about it.
All right. Well, Pharmacist Ben, another great hour plus.
Thank you.
With Pharmacist Fridays on Days with Doc and Becca. If we could get the co-hosts on with us, we could not do this without them. And it's absolutely fantastic that we have such a great group here in the live Zoom, which folks in the future, if you want to join us on live, make sure you go to dailywithDocZoom.com Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. And I know we've got quite a few people out on Rumble watching, YouTube watching, Facebook watching. We've got, we're reaching around the world, Ben, and I think that was our goal. So we're being very successful.
And
I love it.
And make sure you watch our AJ and my Bright Bites. Thank you.
Yes.
AJ,
so Pharmacist Ben Bright Bites, he can be found on the Critical Health News channels of pretty much any platform that's out there. So do a search, Pharmacist Ben Bites, and you will come up with their show that they do every week with valuable information that is more targeted towards what you are concerned about. And you definitely don't hold back, and we appreciate that. And you respect the medical community. I respect the medical.
I do. They mean well. They just don't have the tools. They don't have the tools that they need to handle most of our health issues. Our health issues are about us. And that's why the Healthy Start Pack is the best medicine, God's medicine, nature's medicine that you'll ever take.
Yes. And I love the fact that I have some of those individuals on our team because they are truly finding the benefits of nutrition. So folks, if you are looking at making some changes and you just haven't found the answer in what you've tried so far, well, guess what? You just found the answer. Come and join us. You can go to dailywithdoc.com. There's a way to contact us there if you'd like to ask some questions. We also have an amazing team. Many of the people on this screen right now that are on that phone team, you can be reached at 855-949-3377. They are here to help you answer your questions, and that they're here for the people that aren't already working with somebody. So I just want to make that clear. So if you are already working with somebody, get back with them. They cared enough about you to share this program with you as a resource to help you put more things into your toolbox so that you can help yourselves, your family, your community. And folks, if you're not already working with somebody, you know, our community has a spot for you as well. So make sure that you give us a call at 855-949-3377 and ask how you can be part of the solution by joining our community as an independent longevity distributor. But Pharmacist Ben, you know, we have some pretty fantastic people on the screen right here, besides yourself. We have Ruth Ellen Sanchez, my executive production manager, helping to keep us all organized. We have Rod Wiggins, an amazing coach that focuses on athletes and helping them reach their goals. So of course, he does more than that as far as helping people. But we do have him. We also have Marilyn, who is, she's like a researcher extraordinaire. She makes me look shameful because I love to research too, but she does like over the top. Plus, folks, if you're not here live with us in the Zoom and you don't have that chat open, you're missing out on some amazing dictation because she can type faster than I can speak. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. And she does a great job doing that. And then we also have Albert down in South Africa, who is joining us and it's spreading the message there. Folks, this is not anything that has to do with borders when it comes to nutrition and health. This is a worldwide solution that we are able to share around the world. So thank you, Albert, for sharing and being here with us in the middle of the night as we are doing Daily with Doc. And we have AJ on the screen, known as Sportus, who is a part of our production team as well. And he is very instrumental in getting us on so many different platforms. So I could not do this by myself. I tried. But whenever you take and you incorporate the strengths of other individuals and you use your talents together, that's when you make a huge impact in this world. And that's what we're all about, making a positive impact. Because my name is Becca Dukes, and thank you so much for investing time into yourself, your family, and your community. Because the information that you hear today wasn't meant just to go in one ear, out the other. It's meant to be shared. Join us next week on Daily with Doc, same time, same way, dailywithdoczoom.com, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. I was giving them your time, Ben, but 12 to 1 Pacific time here on Daily with Doc. We have more amazing information to share with you. And I did see Dr. Wallach was on with us today. So thank you, Doc, for taking time out of your busy schedule and listening in and just making sure that we are staying right in line with what your crusade is that you started so many decades ago. Everybody, have a fabulous weekend. Bye for now.
Bye.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.